Hello, everybody, and welcome to another episode of Meet the Speaker. I'm your host, Joe Eames, and today with me we have Alain Chautard. Alain is been around the Angular community for a very long time, so if you haven't encountered him before, it's definitely not for a lack of him putting out a lot of content over the last probably 10 years, right?
Yeah, close to that. I started with Angular back in 2011. I didn't publish anything back then, but I was already around. So yeah, it's been a while.
Cool, cool. And you've spoken several times at ng-conf.
Yeah, this year is going to be third time. So yeah.
Very nice. Very nice. Well, great. Well, I'm excited for people to get to know you a little bit better. And well, let's go into talk about a few questions that people might want to know. So one of the ones I love to ask is how you got into programming.
Yeah, that's a very good starter. And I got into programming almost by accident. I was in high school. I was 16 or 17 years old, I think. And back then, it was end of the 90s in France, my native country, and I didn't have a computer at home, and we didn't have internet. So I was basically unaware of a lot of things. And I got into programming because of my calculator. I had a Texas Instruments 80 calculator, and you can program basic things in there. So it was my first introduction to coding. I tried that and I was like, oh wow, that's magic. I can speak to a machine and it does what I want. So that was kind of a haha moment. But then a couple years later, got a computer, got the internet, realized that how everything works. And yeah, then I thought that that would be my thing, that would be my vocation. So in college and everything, I studied computer science and I've been coding pretty much every day since then. So yeah, the rest is
Awesome.
history.
Awesome. All right. Well, you've been doing technology for quite a while. So let's ask you kind of a fun question here. What's maybe a favorite technology that of yours, but you no longer use it anymore?
Oh, that's a good one. Favorite technology of mine that I don't really use anymore. It's tricky because most of the tools we use, they tend to get better and better.
Mm-hmm.
So it's rare that we give up on something that we liked a lot, but it's not around anymore. Um, oh, Google Reader is one of those. I love RSS, and I
Mm-hmm.
used to. I was a Google Reader kind of guy. So when it went away, I was disappointed. So I guess, yeah, it's not code per se, but close enough.
Right. Right. No, that's good. Cool. All right. Well, let's talk about ng-conf. What are you going to be speaking on?
So I'm gonna be giving two workshops at ng-conf, one on content projection and one on RxJS from scratch. So
RxJS from scratch.
yeah, if you don't know anything about RxJS or just got started with it, basically starting from the basics and trying to demystify all of that vocabulary and all of the stuff that goes with it. Yeah.
Very cool. These are hands-on workshops, right?
Yes, we're gonna try to practice as much as possible. Yeah.
Very typical stuff for you. You've been teaching workshops for a very long time.
Oh yeah, I've been doing this for probably 7 years now. So yeah.
Cool, cool. The content projection one, I'm really excited about. I think that's a very fascinating topic and always something that you can just learn better. And people come up with very unique ideas and ways to use content projection for cool things. So
Yeah, and it seems like a very basic thing at first. I mean, if you know the nominal case for content projection, it seems like okay, that's basic enough. I know that. But when you dive deeper, there's so many other things that you can do. And that's typically what we're gonna cover in the workshop, which is gonna show us how it's done with, let's say, Angular material or any component library that does serious things with components and kind of pushes content production to the extreme. Yeah.
cool, cool. All right. So here's another question for you. What aspect of Angular do you wish that you were better at?
Oh, that's a good one. I think all of the stuff around the building process, the internals of the compiler, CLI, all of these sort of things. I never wanted to touch too much into that because my philosophy is it comes from the Angular team. They do it for us. They do it well. No need to go too deep into that. I'd rather know about all of the APIs and things of the framework than getting another hood too much on that thing. But still, I know there's a lot to it, and that could be something that, yeah, one day if I have time to get more into, for sure.
Cool. All right. I like that. Okay, so how about a serious question here? How do you handle imposter syndrome when you experience it?
Oh, that's a good one, because I think I experienced it right from the start, in a sense that, as I told you, I started with computer science late, I would say 16, 17. And when I got to college, I would study computer science, but I was around geeks that had been doing this for years. So I felt like I knew nothing compared to them. I was new in programming, and these guys were coding for, since they were 8 or 10 or something like that. So it felt like, okay, I need to catch up on this, and pretty much felt like an imposter from the start. So how I deal with it, I guess my main thing is, if I don't feel comfortable about something, I would try to learn as much as I can about it. And when it comes to Angular, I just go to the Angular website and I read everything about that topic, because documentation is pretty good. It covers a lot of bases. So I would do that. And that's the way I would do it early in my career. Now that I have more experience, I find that the best way to dive deeper into anything and to remove any sort of imposter syndrome is to actually write or talk about it.
Right.
Because if you write a blog post, or if you have to prepare a talk about something, you have to know pretty much everything about it. You have to do your research. And just when you write or prepare something, you're going to be like, oh, people are going to ask me about this or that. Or do I really know how this works? And that's how you get to, cover all of your blind spots. And then when you deliver your thing, you're not an imposter anymore. You feel like you really know it, like you should. So yeah, that's, I guess, kind of the process. But the thing is, even if I've been, teaching Angular for 7 years, even if I've been in the community for many, many years, there's still things that I learn. Every time I go to ng-conf, I learn something new, pretty much. Yeah. So there's still, some areas that we don't explore because it's not that common or anything. So anyone can feel like an imposter anytime. It's just normal. It's there's a lot around web development these days.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Yeah, for sure. Cool. All right. Well, we'll finish up with our rapid fire questions.
Okay.
So I'm going to ask you a whole bunch of A or B choices. Pick one. No need to explain why you chose either one. Sound good?
Sounds good.
Okay. So first one, Ruby or Scala?
Scala.
Okay. I like this one. Game of Thrones or Squid Game?
I don't watch any of these two, so I'll go with Squid Games, because I tried Game of Thrones a long time ago and I didn't. So yeah, I'll pick the other one by default.
Okay. Mickey or Goofy?
Oh, Mickey.
Road trip or hiking?
Oh, that's a tough one. Can we say both?
Yes. Yeah.
Because
sure.
typically I do road trips and we hike a lot. So it's really a combination of the two.
Nice. All right. Sparkling or still?
Still.
Sports or esports?
Oh, that's a tough one. Years ago, I would have said sports, but now I'm getting older, so moving more towards esports.
Okay. Let's see here. Thor or Star-Lord?
Star-Lord.
Okay. All right. Last one. This one's kind of obscure. Manga or mangoes?
I go with mangoes.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Well, awesome. Thanks again, Alain, for taking time to be with us and letting people get to know you a little better. Excited to see you in person at ng-conf, and hopefully everybody else as well.
Sounds good. Thanks a lot.
Okay.